Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sam and this is the Crafty Blinder van build, and today we're installing an LPG tank on the underside of my van. When I decided to build my van, in my head I'd planned it all out, and one of the main things that I wanted was an onboard gas supply, but not bottles. I wanted a auto gas system, somewhere I could pull up at a pump, just fill the van up and take off. And this is what we're going to fit today. I hope you like the video. Please remember, we're growing this channel and it is growing. Thank you to all the new subscribers, but without your support and likes and interaction with the channel, we won't grow. So I appreciate everything you've done so far, but if we can keep it up, it's greatly appreciated. So let's get into the video. Thanks for watching. The first decision I had to make was where to put the new LPG tank, and there's a kit out there that goes right where your spare wheel is, so that's where I chose. We removed it and the cradle and tied it up under that area with a pressure washer. After many hours of deliberating which size gas tank to buy, I went with the 40 litre. And the reasoning behind that was because previously when we've had motorhomes, we've had two 15 kg tanks, and we've ended up using, one will last us a long time, but in the winter we'd used maybe 1.5 in a week when we were away. So we've looked at many different size tanks and ultimately we chose this one. We've got a sender unit in it. This needs wired up. There's your input and there's your outlet valve. We need to change this end. We'll change that now for 8mm, and that should be all the connections done. Once we've got all this piped up, we'll do a leak test right up to the regulator, and then from the regulator we'll do a pressure test. The 8mm connector is now connected to the output side of the tank. Make sure that's closed. Don't want to mix that up too far. That's got the olive in. This is our inlet connection. I'm going to put some PTFE on that now, ready for when we connect the pipe. That's it. And just like every other service we've installed to the van, it requires a hole being drilled. So here we go with another hole. When you're drilling large holes in the side of your van, it's prudent to take your time. Don't go too fast because you don't want to burn the paint, plus you don't want to distort the panel by putting too much pressure on. As you can see here, there is a level of distortion just by going steady. Now if you apply too much pressure, you'd end up putting a dent in the side of the van. Once you've got your hole through, you need to deburr the metal, take all the sharp edges off, and then seal it up. You don't want to leave any bare metal exposed because it will just start to corrode over time. Right, next one coming in.
These don't build up, they're just pulling.
Yeah, it's just like a pincher, isn't it? So the filler cap is made up of 3 pieces. You push a plastic trim in from the outside, you then fit the brass panel, and then you put a cup over the back on the inside, and then you secure it with several bolts, and that holds everything in place. Gas filler is now installed. I've connected the pipe once, and I realised that I should maybe have protected the penetration. So we've put some grommet strip around there. That'll stop this pipe when we're travelling, you know, from rubbing through on the metal. There was no burr, it been quite a clean punch through, so, but always better to bib and brace and take precautions. So that's that done. Now I've got to put a little bit of PTFE tape on there, the gas one. PTFE'd up. Grommet strip is still in situ, so to be honest with you, that pipe is that rigid, I can't see it moving, to be honest. So this end now fully connected. We'll leave this cover off and do a pressure test, leak test, but basically that just pulls up. Covers all this backside. Like that. So we can move it right out of the way. But yeah, that's kind of how it should look when it's finished. A little bit further on. Just going to clear something up quickly. The fitting kit that come with the tank, I wasn't very happy with it. So I've installed a shallow piece of unistrut. I'm using parts of the kit along with the hanger that was on the cradle for the spare wheel carrier. I'm using this for the water tank, so it seemed to make sense to use it for this tank also. Side. Fill the pipes that side. Yeah?
Yeah. You output down.
Yeah.
What's it coming out?
Yeah. This all needs rotated round.
Just send to the top.
Yeah. It's right.
Yeah.
Fill that side, output this side. That needs rolled round so it's up here against this. Okay. It just sits nice like that. That was the only reason I put it like that.
It's just I'll do it situ.
As you may have guessed already, I've got a helper, and it's my brother Cliff. He owns Sorry Just Morrit, a garage down in Workington that converts vans and does mechanical work. I love working with my brother because we can sit and talk about a problem for half an hour, 40 minutes, and we end up doing it the way we decided to do it in the beginning anyway. There's the bracket, sorry.
As I say, I can't see. I'm just chatting.
I'll hang that down. Can you see that? In hindsight, I should have marked the location for the straps on the unistrut before I put the tank in.
You are towards your side. Oh, you know me?
Let's slide up. Hello. Give it a nip.
Hey, boss.
So I'll give it a nip after.
Job there, so
I need to put a couple of times on this one. It's
the weld on the tank digs into the
so I think that needs to be level, like not level, but you know, that position.
Yeah, it wants to be up out the way for when your pipes.
How's that look?
No, we're too close there.
Take that cover off and have a look what the fuel gauge says, because think that's the important bit.
It's slightly up bank there for the fuel gauge.
What's it reading? It just wants to be level.
There's a fucking thing on there.
Look where it is.
There's a Becker guys cross front me.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole system. Oh, explain that a lot. See what happens when you get aggressive. At this point, it's worthwhile taking a little bit of time to set your tank up. Make sure it's levelled so your indicator gauge will give you a true and accurate reading. Keep letting go of it.
Ah, you don't want to make it roll down a bit, otherwise you won't get cover off. Yeah. Right, I want that instead. You.
I think this one needs a couple more turns there, but I need
the deeper
socket, yeah. Just offer the filler pipe over. I was looking at this last night, it might need to maybe pull it back up really good.
That's there, that's a couple of nuts there.
Is that it? Yeah. Goes through a hole there, there's a cover to go on here.
Yeah, you say that's
not bad, eh?
it's literally.
I have to measure.
No. Away with that, coming up onto there. And floating nice up there.
Like, good.
We'll get overboard with them because it's. Once it's bounced around a couple hundred miles,
Is that on there?
and I haven't smoothed it on, I'm just sitting on it.
That's going on. That's what it's there for, okay? It passes a flathead down and the adjustable. So this is the incoming gas supply. I used an existing hole. I just bought a fresh grommet for it. I drilled a hole in the middle and ran it across. This smaller pipe is for the gas boiler. It's the gas supply for the boiler. And that's a drop-out vent that you can see there. Well, this pipe runs back to our regulator, TP's here, and this is the supply coming from the tank. That goes to the boiler, and this goes to the cooker and fridge. Just pops up through the floor there. All stone girded. And this is how it looked when it was all finished. The little box around the regulator is something I made. It was I was conscious that stones might flick up and hit and damage the regulator, or road film and debris might build up and cause me issues later. So I just designed this little box out of aluminium and installed it, and it works fantastically. Because I'd upgraded the level indicator to an electronic one, I had to run a cable from the instrument panel all the way back to the tank, and then it was just a matter of wiring it up, and it worked brilliantly. All that's left to do now is do a pressure test on the system, make sure it's all sound. Andrew's van. How old's this van, Andrew?
51, 1951, so it's 70 years old.
And where did it come from?
I can't remember.
This isn't the one from Isle of Man, is it?
No, it's the one from Earth.
Right.
It's dropping that man.
It's dropping. I'll get some pictures of this one day when it's outside. A little tree for you, a couple of old beetles. This green and brown one that's in mid-restoration is it's an ex-police car, all the way from Austria. As for the grey one, it's no longer with us. It was engulfed by an engine fire, totally destroyed. definitely have a leak there. So but the high pressure side is sound. Need to nip that there. Just need to go and get some tools. So that joint there is leaking. So we've not got a meter that'll fit on the test point, so we've just made something fit. So we're testing it at the boiler just to make sure the system's sound, and as it is at the minute it's holding pressure. So my next job is to buy a, what do they call them?
Manometer.
A what?
Manometer.
For the camera?
Manometer.
That'll do. I need to buy one of them and test the system from the test point. So we had a little leak before which was passing badly. That's now been fixed, but we're just letting this run its course, and so it's still holding. Right, we've just pressurised the system and given it a couple of minutes to stabilise. We'll take a reading, then we'll come back in a few minutes and take another reading. So it's sitting at 134.1. Bearing in mind I've just pumped that up, so I expect that to settle down a little bit. So there we have the meter, the hand bellows, and the connection onto the regulator at the test point on the regulator. So we've leak tested all these joints. This joint here we did with water, and the rest of it we sprayed leak detector. So we've retested all the system, opened each one of these valves individually, tested each appliance. So we're currently testing the cooker. This was where we had the issue previously, and we sprayed all the joints with leak detector. That's the fridge valve, that's closed. Got the gas one open now. So there we were losing about a millibar every 40 seconds there. So it was quite a substantial leak, but I believe we've got it sorted now. The straight connection onto the back of the oven wasn't tight at all. So So 133.3. We'll give that a couple of minutes and see if it drops anymore. So it's been 10 minutes now, well over 10 minutes since we started this test, and we've lost 2 millibar. This meter only goes up to 137, so we set off this test at around about 134.6 if I remember right. So we haven't even lost 2 bar yet, sorry, 2 millibar over the 10 minutes, so that is a pass under the regulator's guidelines. I'm going to persevere and try and fix it, but I could end up making it worse. Don't know what to do, but anyway, it's passed. I'm happy with that. Well, here we are. I've never done this before, so I thought I'd share my experience with you. So I've installed an LPG system and I've never actually filled one up. So today we're here. Don't know if you can see the pump. In the mirror you might be able to see it. There's the pump anyway. So auto gas. Never used it before. Obviously it isn't that hard. Many people do it on a daily basis. But let's go and see. I know I can't video it, but let's just see how we'll get on. I'll try and prop the camera up so you can share the experience with me. See it there? We've done the first part, we've got the cap off. I'll be honest with you, I was nervous at this point. I've never put gas into a system that I've installed before, so even though I'd done all the checks and I was quite happy that the system was sound, I still needed to do the first fill, and it was so simple. I had nothing to worry about. Although I'm still unsure if it cuts off like a normal pump will when it's full. I took this to roughly what I thought was full and I left it at that. That easy. Right, let's compare. What's the gauge showing? Is that full? I can't really see. 80%. So we've filled up with gas for the first time. So we need to leak test all these joints. And that looks good. So basically, if there's any problems there, we should get bubbles. And we haven't, so that's good. Put the cover back on. So this is the high pressure side, and this is the only way really of testing it. You could put a gas sniffer on it if you've got thousands of pounds, but I haven't, so I'll stick to the old leak test. So we did the pressure test, the system's sound. Oh my god, that doesn't want to go back on. Right, yeah, so we've pressure tested the system, that's sound, and we've now tested that point there, which is the only other place inside the cab. Everything else is underneath. So let's get underneath and check all them. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, it was a pleasure to do. Having gas in your van, I think, is probably one of the better services to have. It gives you that versatility. You're definitely off grid. You know, you can't have a main supply to a camper van. But for me personally, the underslung tank, where I can pull up at a pump and fill up, was the far better option, and I've used it now. I've had the gas in for a good 6 months, to be honest. It supplies the cooker, the fridge, and the water boiler, the water heater, and I've had no issues. Absolutely love it. Don't use it on the fridge that often. I kind of revert to the 12 volt for the fridge, but it's mainly for cooking and heating. So I can't wait till this lockdown's lifted and we can actually get out there and start proving things, start using the systems that I've installed, start operating them, because at the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? If I can go somewhere and it does what I need it to do, I've done it right, haven't I? But I haven't had that opportunity to prove it. I've used it in the van. I've ran hot water. I've had the oven on. I've had the cooker on. I've even ran the gas on the fridge for a couple of days, just to prove everything. But I want to get out there now and start using it. Thank you for your support and continued support. Thank you for all the questions this week. We've had a good back and forth with a few people, showing me their vans as well. You know, if you want to show me your vans, we also have a Facebook group called the Craftyblinders as well. You can send me your pictures there and we can discuss what you're doing. I love seeing other people's projects. I'm kind of coming to the end of this one and looking for another. I've enjoyed it so much. But yeah, if you want to see us on there, we're also on Instagram as well. Just jump on, get chatting, because it is a little community that we've got going, and hopefully you can benefit from what I've done and what other people are doing. Thanks for watching again. Take care, and we'll see you next time.